That's good. Even sometimes during the year, we end 9:20. Maybe we should go a little early. It's a good idea.
So we're going to see how it goes.
See how it works. You know what I mean? Because the earlier you get to work, the better. Obviously. We're ready to go, brother.
Your man got married this year.
I know. You went?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
How was it?
Beautiful.
Where was it?
In Livingston.
New Jersey.
Okay.
So if we get him here next week, we have Hashem. We're good.
Yeah, we'll save some time. Yeah, maybe Monday. I bet he'll be here Monday. We'll save some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. But you're defaulting. Look what it says over here on the screen. One of us to hear. Your default microphone change to microphone.
Okay. You're there.
Okay, we are on Nun Al 58. Now we're starting. Now it's now 10 after 9. Yeah, so yeah, someone's on. So how? I mean, Mr. I told Morris, Mr. Haber, whatever time you got to go, you leave. You need to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's 9:10. So I don't want to hold you to. You know what I'm saying? So anybody's going to be able to be on, not here, could stay on, and anybody who's here has to go. Okay. And as I said, this is not Iran. We do not hold hostages. So that's my line, Mr. Haber. Okay. You said someone was on? Okay. You sent to the group. Okay. Now, Nun and Aleph, we are before the Mishnah. Rabbi Yishmael, 3 lines, 4 lines before the Mishnah. Rabbi Yishmael. Mr. Haber, you have it? Beginning of the Yishmael. Okay. So the Gemara says, Rafram Bar Papa Ikla Lebei Knishta. Rafram Bar Papa, one of the Amoraim. See, this is going on. The headline of this Gemara is Rabbi Shmuel Omer. Right? You see the beginning of the line, Rabbi Shmuel Omer. So Rabbi Shmuel Omer, in the Mishnah, the question is, what is the appropriate way when you get an aliyah? Do you say Baruch Hu es Hashem hamavorach, or do you just have to say Baruch Hu es Hashem? What's our minhag? We say Baruch Hu es Hashem hamavorach. But there's an opinion in the Mishnah that says you don't need to say hamavorach. You just need to say Baruch Hu es Hashem. Now, what's the issue? So one opinion says if you call out Baruch Hu es Hashem and you don't say hamavorach, so Baruch Hu Hashem, you're telling everybody to give a blessing to Hashem, and you're not including yourself in the blessing. You're calling out to others, and we never wanted to give that impression that you're calling out to others or you're not part of it. You're telling them to give a bracha to Hashem, but when you say hamavorach means give a blessing to Hashem, the one who is blessed, which means who is blessed by everybody, including myself. So therefore, there's a second opinion in the Mishnah says you must say that extra word hamavorach. The other opinion says no, you could just say Baruch Hu es Hashem, and it's not a concern. Either the reason why it's not a concern is because after you call out Baruch Hu es Hashem, you, the one who gets an aliyah also responds Baruch Hashem hamavorach. Correct? So because you respond, you're showing that you are involved in the. I mentioned this. I've seen a bar mitzvah boy. Sometimes he gets the aliyah, says Baruch Hu Hashem hamavorach, and then he starts immediately Baruch Atah Hashem and he forgets to say the Baruch Hashem hamavorach l'olam. The same way everybody responds Baruch Hashem hamavorach, and you also, the one who gets the aliyah, has to make sure he says those words as well. Correct? So that's now. So the Gemara says, going back on that, Rafram Bar Papa Iklo Lebei Knishta Abe Gibor. He came to the shul of Abe Gibor. Some say Abe Gibor is the name of a person. Some say Abe Gibor is the name of a town, of a place. And so, come Krah B'Sifra, and he got up to read the Sefer Torah. V'omar, and what did he say when he got to Aliyah? Baruchu es Hashem. He says, and he did not say the fourth word, Hamavorach. He said, Baruchu es Hashem. V'ishtik, and he was quiet. V'lo omar Hamavorach. And he didn't say Hamavorach. Afshi kule alma. Everybody responded in a louder voice than usual. They said, Baruch Hu, you're supposed to, they responded, Baruch Hu Hashem HaVorach. They said to him, you're supposed to say, Baruch Hu Hashem HaVorach. They all told, everybody made a nice, telling him you're making a mistake. You're not supposed to say Baruch Hu Hashem. You're supposed to say Baruch Hu Hashem HaVorach. And Omar Rava, so meaning to say, because they held, the people in the synagogue held, you're supposed to say the Hamavorach word, which is interesting. Rav Papa was a guest in the shul. It says he came to the town. The town had a certain established custom, and their custom was, the way you read it is Baruch Hu es Hashem Hamavorach, and he did not do that. In the town, people, the synagogue corrected him and said, Rab, you're supposed to say Hamavorach. So Omar Rava. So Rava said to Rafram, he says he gave him some criticism for doing it the way he did it. Because Rafram knew what he was doing. It wasn't that he made a mistake. He had in mind to say Hamavorach and he forgot to say Hamavorach. He intentionally said the shorter version. So Rava says, Patya Ukma. He called him like an earthenware vessel that gets black as a result of working with that earthenware vessel. Meaning, you're someone who's been around the block. You're someone who's very knowledgeable in Torah. You learned a lot of Torah. And therefore, why are you getting involved in a machlokas? Bahadi plukta lamalach. Why should you get, when you have a situation where you have two opinions? One opinion says you need to say Hamavorach. One opinion says you don't need to say Hamavorach. So why, if you could have fulfilled both opinions by easily saying the word Hamavorach, so go say it in a way in which you're not getting into machloket. Why? A lot of times in halacha also, if you could fulfill both opinions, why don't you just fill? If it's not a big sweat off your back, so to speak, and you have both opinions, why get involved? Maybe even if it's a little sweat, why get involved with this machloket? Why not? Why not just do it in a way that everybody agrees? I like to do things in a way that everybody, there's no question. Meaning, because the other opinion says I'm doing wrong. So that's the first thing he tells them. The second thing is, Hanog Alma Karabi Ishmael. You know what? Let's say you want to point out, you're happy to take a side in a machloket. And you know why? Maybe you want to take a side in a machloket because you want to show that you feel this is the right opinion, right? Because really it was a machloket in the Mishnah, an early machloket, and you're a later rabbi, and you might want to show what you feel the halacha is. But I want to tell you, but the custom of the world is a certain way. The world has accepted the opinion of Rabbi Yishmael that you're supposed to say Hamavorach. So even if you're under the opinion, even if you feel that that's not necessary, but if the Jewish community has established themselves and taken this minhag, maybe it's a chumrah. Maybe the world, even if the world would accept this opinion as, even if the minhag is out of a stringency and the law does not require it, but if the Jewish community has this minhag, this custom, you follow it. A minhag is very powerful. So it might not necessarily mean, sometimes we have a minhag as of a stringency that you might not necessarily need to do it, but the rabbi says, you know what, let's do it anyways. Let's do it anyways because it's something there to it as well. So therefore, that's what he told him. And we don't see his response. We don't see the rabbi defending himself for why he did it that way. So, okay. Obviously he had his reasons, but that's what the other rabbi told him. Not correct. Shlosha shachla ka'achad. Very famous halacha. 3 people that eat together. Einan v'shayin l'chalek. If 3 people eat together, you started your meal together, you can't separate. You have to make sure that you have a zimun together because you started together. Now, v'chein arba'ah. Similarly, if you had 4 people that started together. Now, v'chein chamisha. And also 5 people. If you're part of this, meaning to say like this, if you're 4 people, so you might say, you know what, I could go. There's 3 other people left in the zimun, and they'll have a zimun, and I'll go my merry way. No, you started eating with this group. I don't care if the group was 3 or group was 10, 4 or 5. The fact is, you're part of this group. You have an obligation to zimun, even if they could do it without you. But you have a responsibility, correct, Mr. Haber? You, as that, you ate with the group, and therefore that's why the Mishnah tells us a chidush. 4 also can't. One of the members can't leave. 5 can't leave. You can't separate. But shisha nechlakim. If you have 6 people eating together, if we have 6 people eating together, if you want to send to them, remind them. If you don't mind, Mark. If you have 6 people eating together. So you know what we could do? 3 people could go in and make their own zimun, and the other 3 people make their own zimun. We don't have to wait for each other. We don't have to do a zimun of 6. And by the way, I think there is a chidush in that. What's the chidush? What's the chidush in that? Because we said there's a rule called Rov Am Hadrat Melech. When you do a mitzvah, the more people you do it together as a group is better. So there is a chidush that you could take 6 and break it into what? Into 3 and 3. Even though you're not having 6 doing it together, you're only having 3 doing it together, but the Mishnah says it's acceptable, and it could be because the dear zimun is people have to go, sometimes people have to leave. Therefore, they didn't say that you have to do it as a group of 6. If you have 6, make it 3 and make it 3. Same if you have 20, you can do 10 and 10. You don't have to wait for each other. Until 10 people. We got Yosef in the waiting room. Until 10 people, you could go ahead and you could divide. Meaning, if I have 8 people, I can make it 5 and 3, 4 and 4. But when I have 10, I can't divide 10. I can't divide 10 to 5 and 5 and 3 and 7. Why? Because once I have 10, then I have the mitzvah of saying the name of Hashem. And therefore, I can't divide. Yosef, I can't hear you. So that's what the Gemara says. So the Gemara says, until maybe he's on mute. Until you have 20. Once you have 20, then you can split the 20 into 2 parts. You can make it 10 and 10. Then the Mishnah says another thing, which is very interesting. The next point of the Mishnah is was used in halacha. A lot of discussion regarding COVID-19. In COVID-19, there were a lot of people that made a minyan on this. There were people that were on this porch, and there was a neighbor on the next porch. Can you count a person in? If I'm in my porch and you're on your porch, can we count each other in? We're not in the same place. We're in 2 different places. I'm on my porch, you're on your porch. How do we class? And the porch, let's say, how do we class? We're not like all outdoors together in the group. And my porch might even have a certain type of mechitza, a certain type of size of something that's like a wall. So how do we look at that? It's like 2 different houses, especially when I have that wall around that, a 10 tfachim, a 38.7, whatever inch wall, whatever the size, however you count the 10 tfachim, can we count each other in for the minyan? Okay, you're not standing in the same place together. So we find by zimun, the Mishnah says over here, if 2 groups were eating in one house, if they see each other, but the Mishnah says they're in one house, 2 groups in one house. So let's say you're in one house. Let's say you're in the shul upstairs, or let's say the dining room downstairs. You have 2 groups in the dining room. If they see each other, then you could join the groups together with each other to make a zimun. If we see each other, the Mishnah says. If we don't see each other, let's say we're in the one house. We're all in that same house, but we don't see each other. You cannot join into zimun even if you hear each other. Hear each other is not enough. You have to be able to see each other to be part of one group. So the halachic discussion is, what would we say? The Mishnah says two groups that see each other, it works in one house. What about if it's two groups that see each other in two different houses? The Mishnah says it's in one house. So does the Mishnah mean that if it's two houses, seeing each other is not good enough? Or does the Mishnah mean to say that even though you're in one house, but since you don't see each other, it's not good enough? But if you're in two different houses and you see each other, it would be good. So that is a discussion in the Rishonim. Some Rishonim understand the Mishnah that you don't have to be in the same house. You could be in two different houses, as long as you guys see each other and you had in mind to eat together. Let's say we're having a barbecue together. I'm barbecuing on my porch. You're barbecuing. We're having the same. We're sharing. We're having a barbecue together. All the neighbors are having a barbecue together, and we're all eating. Everybody's eating on their porch. But we're all coming together as a group. We're having a party. Let's say we're having a party, or we want to get together. But we're not all eating in the same place. Not all having the same hall. We're all eating on our own porches, but we're all doing it as a group. So, which would be similar to a minyan when we're all coming together with the intention of coming together. So the opinions that allow this zimun on two different houses, if you see each other, would only be if you see each other, and you came together with the intention that we're doing this as a group. That would be the allowance that some would say, understand that would work by zimun. And now the question is, if it works by zimun, would it work by minyan? Question would be, does minyan have the same law as zimun? See, in a certain sense, zimun is not as, we say that the name Hashem is called a davar shebekudusha by zimun. And minyan is also a davar shebekudusha, but zimun is also with three people. You can't have a minyan with three people. So the question would be, would a minyan have, meaning maybe perhaps, I'm just throwing out a possibility, Yosef Atzadik, that minyan would need something stronger than zimun. Because zimun, you could get a zimun with three people. You can't get a minyan with three people. You need 10 people. So the question would be, would the rabbis require more for a minyan? Or do you say no? If the fact is if we call together by zimun, that's called you're together. Because like zimun, the idea of zimun is a bracha that you're doing as a group. So it's called together by zimun. It should be called together. You come together as a minyan. And if I've seen halachic authorities who wrote during COVID-19, they took our Mishnah and they connected the dots. Some connected the dots from zimun to minyan, and therefore that's how they were explaining these outdoor minyanim when they were not always outdoors together, but people were on their own porches. And some people were afraid to be even outdoors in that group. One guy wanted, I'm staying on my porch. Could I count him in? He's on his porch. And that was some, and we'll just finish the Mishnah. So it says, if it's mine, again, back in the Mishnah, two groups that were eating in one house. As long as some of them if you see the other ones, that makes it that you're together. If they don't see each other, then everybody got to get their own zimun. Then each group would need to make their own zimun. They're not called together if they don't see each other. Now, Mishnah is a different. So the voice itself doesn't carry, right? Because if the voice would carry, the Mishnah should have said a bigger chidush, even as long as you hear each other. Now, the wine in the old days was very strong, and you needed to add water to the wine to be able to drink it, or else it's too strong. So if you didn't add water to the wine, what's the bracha on the wine before you added water? So the Mishnah says there's one opinion that says you say a borei pri ha'etz on the wine, on the water, on the wine. Why? Because it's not really wine. It's not the real wine because it's not really fit for normal drinking. So it's like the product. It's like this. Ha'etz.
And however, if the wine itself was diluted,
Then it becomes borei pri ha'etz, because then it was brought to its positive stage of proper use. That's one opinion. But the halacha, the Chum say, even when it's raw, even if you did not dilute it, but they used to use it for an ingredient in some, we'll see in the Gemara, for health purposes, to drink it for health purposes. And the Gemara says then you could say a borei pri ha'etz, even on wine that wasn't diluted. That's what we'll see the halacha maybe next time. But the Mishnah says, Ein mevachin al hayayin ad shitatoch hamayim. The first opinion says you have to put water into it. If you don't dilute it with water, you cannot say a gefen, you say a borei pri ha'etz. The Chum say no, you're allowed to say a borei pri ha'gefen on the wine, even though you didn't add water to it, because it will be used as a drink in health purposes for some sort of to help for some sort of medical purposes, and therefore he says you could say a borei pri ha'gefen. Want to wish everyone a great day. Okay, hopefully it was short but sweet. We hope, and every word of Torah counts. And every word is a mitzvah. So you know how many mitzvahs you got? They clock John F. Kennedy at 200 words a minute. That's what I was told. So 200 words a minute. That's not right. 200 words a minute. That's what they clock John F. Kennedy. So 10 minutes is 2,000 mitzvot, and 20 minutes is, so you got 4,000 mitzvot in 20 minutes. Right? Every minute counts. You know, so however long it was. Yosef Atzadik, it's good to see you.
Likewise, Rabbi, likewise.
Always. I see it looks like, what'd you say?
I said always.
It looked like you were saying slichot. Maybe you got to be careful with the walking and everything, with the talus and tefillin and everything. Thank you. Have a great day. Yosef, keep up your great work on the slichot.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
It looks like the same. Have a great Shabbat. So we'll be in touch, all right?
6:45
on Tuesday, yeah.
Morris Tzaddik.
See that?
6:45 a.m. How are you?
Good, Morris. Because of you, this class is existing many times, to be honest.
No. This is the rabbi.
Rabbi is the pillar, but you are the support for the pillar.
Thank you.
You heard that? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Yosef. Yosef, I'll tell you what we're thinking of doing. We're thinking that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yes.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because it's getting very late because of the Sichot. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe to have it a half hour before Sichot, like at 6:45 in the morning.
Okay, see what happens.
We'll see. We'll try our best. That's all. Exactly. Hopefully, we'll see. And if that doesn't work, maybe I would give separately after the minyan. So let's see what happens. Let's see how it works for the people. Let's see.
I'm not going anywhere, Rabbi.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you, Rabbi. Bye.
Bye. You too.